good evening, everyone, and welcome to Raceface TV. We got an exciting show for you tonight. My name is Rod Wortham. I'm going to be your host. I'm going to be joined by my better half, or I should say the number one host as far as young racers are concerned. His name is Mr. Tom Baker, and he's down in Mooresville, North Carolina. I blew it, Tom, up in Mooresville, North Carolina. And he's got a young racer with him tonight by the name of Tommy Good. So how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing fantastic, Rod. How you doing?
You'd think sooner or later I'm going to get this up to Mooresville, down to Mooresville, straightened out, but...
Yeah, I never was good at geography.
So how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing well, man. How about yourself down in Florida?
Good, man. Got a good-looking young race car driver right there. I was just watching some video of him on YouTube and understand that he had a pretty good race last night at the summer shootout there in Charlotte.
Sure did. This is Tommy Good. Tommy is from Huntersville, North Carolina, right in the Charlotte area here, and a local racer in the Bandolero division right now, spending the majority of your time focusing on the Bojangles Summer Shootout at Charlotte Motor Speedway. First of all, great to have you on, Tommy. Talk a little bit about, well, how old are you first?
Well, I'm 14 years old in the Outlaw division for the Bandoleros.
And how long have you been racing?
I've raced Bandoleros for 4 years. In the summer, it's the start of our 4th year, and I've been racing since I was 8.
What got you started in racing? What made you decide that I want to go drive a race car?
Well, one day we just went down to Victoryland Indoor Karting down in Charlotte, and it's a great place to go to race karts, and just got my start there and got good there, and then moved up into Bandoleros.
And what made you choose the Bandolero?
We met some people there. Dennis and Daniel Wilk helped us out, and they were racing Bandoleros at the time, so we thought, well, we might as well get into it.
And so you've been running for about 4 years now. And the Summer Shootout, obviously, for you guys is kind of the premier series that you run. Tell us about last night and how things went for you. You guys have had a terrible issue with weather this year. It's rained both weeks so far, and you've had one of your races postponed to the following week each week. But talk about last night. You got your makeup race in, just not the regular feature.
Yeah, the makeup race, we started 18th because they didn't let us run a heat. So I always draw bad every week, by luck. And so we started 18th and moved our way up to 4th in the field. So it was a good race.
18th to 4th, Rod. That's pretty impressive.
I think that's extremely impressive. I mean, that's a lot of cars to pass in, 20 laps? And was the track wet when you were running? I mean, everything that I saw last night, every time I saw the track, it was definitely wet.
No, it wasn't wet at the time.
Oh, well, that's cool. That's cool.
Bandoleros don't race in the rain. That's why they keep having to postpone them.
Okay. Well, see,
Yeah.
I'm learning something. Every week on the show, I learn a little bit more. So tell me, why does a legend car run in the rain and a Bandolero not?
Well, the legend cars have more traction on their tires, so they can get more grip in the rain. But if Bandoleros went out there, they'd just be slipping and sliding all over the place.
Okay, I got you, man. So let me ask you a question. So you're in how much longer are you going to be staying in the Bandoleros, and what's your next move?
Well, we're not sure what our next move yet, but this is definitely our last year in the Bando.
So where do you want to go to? Let me ask you that question then.
Well, everyone wants to go to like late models or something, but we're probably going to try a couple different things. Maybe legend car, Allison Legacies, and then maybe move up into a late model if we can get some sponsors.
Sponsorship is key for everyone that's out there, right? And that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about a little bit in our second segment is the new Raceface University and how we can help young drivers out with that. Because, well, let me just ask you a question, Tommy. A ballpark figure, how much money does it cost you every year to actually run in that Bandolero division?
About $10,000.
Oh my goodness, about $10,000. Everybody hear that? So, you know, racing, as we've said before, not like other sports, it's very, very expensive to get involved. So for a lot of our listeners that are out there tonight that may not know exactly what a Bandolero is and what kind of engine is it, can you explain a little bit about that to our viewing audience?
Well, it's a 30 horsepower Briggs & Stratton motor, 10.5 feet long, and they'll do about 75 miles an hour.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So let me ask you another question. Besides Charlotte, what's your favorite track to run on?
It's definitely down in Florida, Citrus County Speedway, Winter Nationals.
Well, that's down in my part of the country now. You're getting down here where the sun's shining all the time. But guess what? If you'd have been down here racing over the last 3 weeks, your only chance of racing would be if you had a boat, because it's rained every day here.
It's been about that way here too. It seems to rain. We've turned into Tampa. It rains every day at 5 o'clock, whether it needs to or not.
Well, to be truthful with you, Tommy, it was beautiful sunshine until like a week ago when Tom came down. And when he came down, the clouds came with him and it rained every day he was here. Who figures?
Yeah, it's all my fault. Now I'm back up here and it's raining here. I should go spend about 2 weeks in California.
You should go. That would be it. So anybody that's in a drought situation, we could be like, hey, we've got a cure for it. We're just going to ship Tom out there.
I wonder how much that would be worth to the folks out there.
You never know. I always know when it's going to rain. It's all I got to do is like not cut the grass or wash the car. The car. It's definitely going to rain the next day. It's kind of one of those things. So let's get back to the racing. That's what people are here to hear about. So
absolutely. Tommy, talk a little bit about what it's like to run a Bandolero at Charlotte in the shootout. It's an awfully big stage. I mean, you've got a pretty good crowd of fans. Obviously, the best drivers in the country come to race in the shootout. What's it like for you mentally to prepare for a shootout race as compared to, say, a weekly race at Concord?
Well, Concord, there's definitely not that many fans, and it's televised on MAV TV, so that definitely puts a little bit more pressure on you. But I do good under pressure, personally, I think myself. But it's a lot of fans out there, and you really, when you get out of the car and you win, it's fun to go up on the stage and yell at the fans.
Well, you don't yell at them, but just talk to them and engage with them. Yeah. Now you probably yell a little at Lenny Baticki, who the Victory Lane announcer. Now talk a little bit about your division, because you've got a bunch of competition. Who are some of your top competitors, and is there one driver in the class that you most enjoy racing against because you know that he or she is gonna race you really hard but really clean?
Well, in the shootout, there's probably about the top 10 or 7 cars have a shot at winning it every single week. But my probably 2 best competitors are Isaac Love and Cameron Bolin. They're great guys to race with. They race you clean and hard.
And I think it was Cameron that got a win last night in your division.
Yeah, I led all 20 laps, got out front, and just ran away with it.
We're hoping to have Cameron on one of our future shows. Rod Cameron's another local racer from South Carolina who really is doing well in the Bandolero class and just a lot of fun to talk to.
All right, so let me ask you a question, Tommy. A lot of the racers that come from maybe the Midwest or maybe even out west, they get out to the east and they find out that like everybody's good from the east. I mean, it just seems like the level of competition, the level of experience, and the level of talent is so much superior, I would say, in the east. And don't all of you people out in the west send me emails and get mad at me, but it just really is kind of a fact, I think. Wouldn't you agree, Tom?
Well, I think definitely people from the east. I haven't raced against anyone usually from the west. I know some kids from Canada come down, but they're good racers too. But just the people in the east, just I think they have more experience because there's more local races every weekend.
And
practice makes perfect almost, right?
Oh yeah, seat time's everything.
Seat time is everything.
Really a good point too, because I think we have more cars here. Obviously, for those who don't know, the Legends and the Bandoleros are all built at U.S. Legends International, which is about maybe 2 miles behind Charlotte Motor Speedway in Harrisburg, North Carolina. So they're all spec cars and all built in the same place. So this is kind of home base. And I think there are more tracks around here that run them even on a semi-regular basis than probably in a lot of other areas of the country too. So we have more racers, and I think that increases the competitive level.
Absolutely. So Tommy, let me ask you a question because we're just about done with our first segment. I ask this to every guest that we have on the show. If you had a crystal ball and you could look in that crystal ball, where do you see yourself 5 years from today? Where would you like to be?
Well, I'd like to be in NASCAR, but everyone wants to go to NASCAR. I just hope I'm racing something and doing something in the sport that I love.
Well, that's a great attitude to have.
That's a great answer.
Great answer, really. So Tommy, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to wish you the best of luck on the rest of your year. Thank you so much for being on our show. Do you want to give a shout out to any sponsors that you have?
Yes, thank you for having me. I'd like to thank God for keeping me and my competitors safe. Cram Racing Enterprise for building me a great car. Mike Gordon, Cut Dyer Setup, Dennis and Daniel Wilk. We wouldn't be here without you guys. And my mom and dad, of course, for making this all possible.
Awesome. And what's your do you have a Facebook or Instagram page that you'd like to share with the viewing audience?
Yes, Tommy Good Racing.
Tommy Good Racing is your Facebook page. So here's what we want everybody to do. We want you to go out tonight and go like Tommy's page, because again, that's one of the things that sponsors look for. How many followers do you have? It's building that fan base. And when we come back, we're going to get into that a lot more as we get into Raceface University. Tommy, good luck to you for the rest of the season. Thank you so much for being here. And Tom, I think we need to have him back towards the end of the season so we can kind of get a recap on what his season did. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with you in just a couple minutes.
Ever need a doctor after hours? Well, searching won't help. But what do? You could go to the urgent care or ER, but if only there was a better way. Introducing the MNO Plus card. No waiting rooms, no copay, no consultation fee, giving you 24/7 access to a doctor by phone or online. It's easy to get started with affordable plans starting at $15 a month for a family of 5. For more information, visit mnoplus.com today.
81% of consumers search online before even setting foot in a store. We help you create a strong foundation for your digital reputation. We help build your online presence to improve search engine rank and make sure your business information is correct across the web. You could do all of this on your own, but why would you spend more than 300 hours a year working on this? You have a business to run. Save time and put our software to work for you.
The Edge, Fridays at noon. If you're an entrepreneur looking for cutting-edge information, tips, tricks, secrets, expert interviews, it's all here at The Edge. Anything you need to build your business, this is the show to listen to. It's The Edge. Check us out Fridays at noon.
Well, welcome back, everybody. What a great first segment. We were down up in Mooresville, North Carolina, talking to Bandolero racer Tommy Good. And I'm going to tell you what a great interview. What a good-looking kid, Tom. I think he's got a bright future in front of him because it sounds like he's a really good racer, but he looks to be very, very marketable. And as we all know, it takes the big package. So, Tom, I want to spend the rest of the second segment talking about a little project that we got going on called Raceface University.
Yeah, we're really excited about what we're doing with this. Obviously, Rod, we feel like this is going to be something that is going to really help a lot of people in the industry to be able to get a real idea of what it takes to climb the ladder in the sport, and particularly for young drivers. I think it's a very affordable way to get some background on the off-track side of the sport, which I think at the level that a Tommy Good or a Daniel Wilk or a Tristan Lessick, who we've spoken with in the last few weeks, running legends, bandoleros, even late models, that level, I think they need that off-track training, because most of what differentiates one of them from the others is who they are and how they are off the track as opposed to their driving skill, because obviously there are tons of really talented racers. It's who you are and what you are off the track and how you approach your racing that's going to make a difference, I think, going forward in this sport, which is very marketing driven.
Well, I 100% agree, Tom, and we are very, very excited to be bringing you Raceface University. I don't think there's anything like it out there in the marketplace, and we're going to talk to and teach you guys a little bit about branding, marketing, the do's and don'ts of social media. And so what, instead of me telling you that, we've got a great motivational speaker. His name is Steve Hopper, and we're going to show you a little video clip that he's going to kind of be opening up the university. So check this out.
Before you get started, I want to talk to you about performing at your fullest potential. As I've traveled the world speaking to people from all walks of life, I have realized that most people are not playing at the level they could be in their lives.
Well, that was just a little teaser, Tom. Steve's a great guy. He's a motivational speaker. He speaks all over the world to major corporations. And when Steve heard about what we were doing, he was so intrigued about it that he volunteered to come in and do a couple of segments for us. I think he's going to kind of lead everybody off to kind of get them pumped up. And then at the very end of the university, he's going to come back and really try to motivate people to take what they've learned and go out and actually apply that to their racing careers.
He's a really good guy, and he's very experienced at what he does. And I think he brings a lot of energy to the project that we've put together. So very, very happy to have him on board with us and to have not just his support, but also his energy and his time to help us to make this even stronger.
Yeah, and Tom, you know, the one thing that we may not have talked about, this training program, if you would, Raceface University, is not just for the drivers, but also for the parents. Because we talk a lot about the blueprints, and, you know, again, if you've got a 5 or a 6-year-old racer that's out there, parents, we want you to get involved, and I don't even care if it's a 13, 14, 16, 17-year-old racer. I know Cup drivers today that still have their parents involved in what they're doing. So you guys are a very important key element. And I know that some of the things that we talk about is that we get caught up in spending all of our money on equipment or all of our money being able to go to multiple races, see how many races we can cram into one year, and we forget about the branding side of things. And as you start to climb up that ladder, the branding starts to become just as important, and in some cases more important, because as you're going to learn in the university is that mom and dad's money is eventually going to run out. And if you don't have a brand and you don't have that ability to go out and attract that sponsorship, then your racing career could come to a screeching halt. And we don't want that to happen. So that's a little bit more about what Raceface University is all about.
Yeah, we've tried to really put together an affordable training package that combines a series of training videos with weekly live webinars so that it's not meant to be an all-encompassing program. It's meant to be a launch program or an on-ramp, if you will, that will start to give parents and drivers all of the knowledge that they need and a basis for being able to expand and get into a longer-term branding program. But I think this, at the price that we're putting it out at and the way that we're developing this and with the folks that are involved in it, I think it's going to be something that the industry is really going to enjoy. And that's really what we were trying to create, was something that could be a very useful tool at a very affordable price so that any racer, whether you're racing at the go-kart level, the quarter midget level, the Legends car level, late models, whatever it is, if you're looking for a way to start to gain the knowledge that you need, how do I get started with branding? What does it mean to brand? You know, what are the ingredients that go into making a successful racer other than being able to drive the car? How can I, if I don't have $1 million, how can I become attractive to a partner or a sponsor? I think this really is the program that will help to start to unlock some of that information and give the parents an opportunity to learn how to help their kids to go make this happen.
And we've got a great team assembled in this. We've got a lot of experience. I think that combined experience, without getting into our age and telling people how old we are, we've got about 100 years of experience between the three of the main people that are going to be a part of this. And Tom, you've been doing driver coaching for how long?
Almost 30 years now, and I don't mind sharing my age. I'll be 50 in November, and I've been blessed to be a part of the sport for over half of my life. And you know what? And I've been a fan since I was 5. So I think this is an opportunity for the parents who are not the ones with the big bucks. Now, if you have big bucks, this is even better because you can literally take what we're teaching you to do and put it into action and enhance the program that you've already got. But if you're someone who is struggling to find that big sponsor to elevate your driver, this program is really going to give you a starting point for, as you talk about, how to build a blueprint or a strategy. What steps do we really need to take? Because there are a lot of mistakes I see parents make. They leave their drivers in a division too long. They move them too fast. Put them in the wrong places to start with, try to overspend in the beginning, those sorts of things. There are going to be a lot of these things that we address in the course of this series, either in the videos or in the live webinars. And of course, we'll be able to take direct questions in the webinars from the folks who are a part of the university. We'll be able to directly ask questions of the panelists in the webinars and really get some great information at a really affordable price.
And I think, Tom, if you was to go out and pick an architect to actually put a blueprint together for a racing career, I think we may have one of the best architects in the world in Mr. Lauren Rainier. He's helped a lot of drivers succeed, definitely a proven track record. And, Lauren's been very instrumental in putting all of this together. So we're really glad he's a part of our program as well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Lauren started it all with Davey Allison many, many years ago with Lauren's dad's Cup team, Harry Rainier's Cup team. He started all of this with driver development and, has worked with so many of the drivers, including Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, Kyle Larson, Ben Rhodes. I mean, so many of them over the years spotted for Jamie McMurray for a long, long time. I mean, there are any number of drivers in the Cup Series and the National Series that Lauren has directly had input with, and he still continues to with some drivers like Sam Mayer, who one of the winners last night at the Bojangles Summer Shootout here in Charlotte. And so, it's really the opportunity for us to work with Lauren is phenomenal, let alone, the opportunity for the young racers and the parents to be able to have the opportunity to get his feedback and learn from his vast experience and success over the years.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you what we're going to do, Tom. We're going to take a little sneak peek at what they might see when they get inside the university. So let's take a look at this. Really, Tom, what makes a professional race car driver as far as from the marketing and the branding side of things?
Yeah, I think that, Rod, a lot of young drivers, they see the driving side of the driver, and that's what they come to know as, I want to drive a race car. They want to get in and drive that race car. But as you climb up the motorsports ladder, you start having to deal with things like sponsors, deal with the media, deal with groups of people who want your time for charity appearances, this and that. So becoming a professional race car driver involves so much more than just driving the car.
Well, there you have it, Tom, a little sneak peek. So I know that you and I worked very, very hard on this last week and actually over the last couple of months putting all of this together. And we're really excited to be able to bring this to you. And so, Tom, I'm sure a lot of people out there have got to be going, okay, what's this going to cost me? And our plan was to keep it right around, what was it, the $4,000 to $5,000 range, wasn't it?
Yeah, somewhere in that area. But then we decided, you know what, if we could make it a lot more affordable than that, more people could be a part of this. So what did we drop the price to?
$299. That's it. For an 8-week course, $299, over 100 years worth of experience. You're going to get the videos. Again, as Tom said, it's an 8-week course. You're going to have live webinars that Tom and I will be doing back and forth, and we'll probably have some special guests there.
Yes.
Some motivational stuff from Steve Hopper. We got some special training that's really going to be cool about social media. And then we've got some templates in there. So again, we can't do all of this for you, but we do have some templates in there that would help you go out and put a professional marketing deck together to be able to go out and present to a sponsor, and just a lot of different things that will be interactive to really help you go out and come off as a professional, which is what you really need to do.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think here again, we can't solve everybody's problems for them, but the very fact that there are drivers out there who are making it still on talent without bringing money to the equation, and I know that so many people deny that still happens anymore. It does, but it's rare and it's very hard to find those opportunities. You have to really stand out. So for most of the motorsports development, you might say population, young drivers like Tommy Good, who we just had on the show, we wanted to put something together that would give not only the driver, but the parents a real bona fide, honest look at what it takes and explain to them that this can happen for you. But you have to have a strategy. You have to take steps. You have to put in time. And so not only have we included, as you said, the videos, but also the webinars and then the templates with for marketing kits. We've got one, I think, Rod, for actually showing where on the car the sponsors could be placed, and we're doing templates for several different types of cars. So, you know, there's a lot of extras included in this. I think for $299, a pretty thorough package.
Well, everybody I talk to about the price kind of looks at me like a deer in the headlights and going, really? And
Yeah.
so anyway, again, it was our way to be able to give back to the racing community, do it at an affordable
Yes.
price, to be able to reach out and be able to help all of you. We know it's tough out there, and this is really kind of a way for us to keep the sport moving in the right direction, and also to be able to help you secure the dollars. And again, there are no guarantees on sponsorship. We're going to give you our suggestions on how to do it, how to become professional, but then you've got to actually go out and do it. You've got to take what we teach you, go out and implement it. So we're going to be really excited. Our first class, Tom, starts on July 1st. So you've only got a couple of, I actually think if you go to racefaceuniversity.com, racefaceuniversity.com, you can see a picture of the website on the screen right now. There's a way for you to be able to ask for more information if you want that, or a way to be able to scroll down to the bottom of it and go ahead and enroll. We do have limited availability for that. I promise you it will be one of the best $299 investments that you've ever made in your racing career. And then we're going to show you some tools that once you go through the university that we can also reach out and make a great offer to you to be able to help you, again, get that professional look and be able to advance your career. So Tom, we're just about out of time. Do you have anything you'd like to share before we wrap up tonight?
Well, you know, I'm very excited about what we're doing with this, and I think that you have really said it in a very appropriate way. We're not trying to get filthy rich off of this. We're trying to offer something to the racing community that it needs at a price point that it can afford. And we really want to see a lot of young racers taking advantage of this, because we feel like the knowledge is important, and we realize that neither you nor I can reach tens of thousands of racers on our own just doing it individually. But when you offer things like webinars and packages like this, we can do it that way. And we're real excited about what we can do for the motorsports community as a whole with this, and start to take some drivers like Tommy and point them in the right directions as to how to escalate up the sport and up the ladder to be able to, get to the top and help some of these teams win some races.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, here's one thing I do want to make an offer on. Anyone that signs up or gets enrolled anytime between tonight and next Monday night at 8 o'clock is going to earn the chance to get their very own Racers mobile app. Now, Tom, I know you've had a chance to be able to take a little bit of a look at that. It's very cool. I mean, can you imagine having your own app to be able to market yourself? Let me tell you something. Sponsors will love you for that, because that will really set you out and make you different. So somebody's going to win that free app if you sign up anytime between tonight, get enrolled, and next week. So go out, visit Raceface University online, enroll today. If you need more information, again, there's a box to be able to click on. Somebody from our office here will be getting back in touch with you. Tom, thanks again for being on the show tonight. It was great to have Tommy Good. I mean, again, I can't say how marketable I think that young driver is. I know he's got a lot of talent. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he definitely has, and he's certainly, the character is definitely there. He's a very marketable young man off the track, and certainly can put the pedal down and go to the front on it, as he showed last night, 18th to 4th.
Well, absolutely. Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back here next Wednesday night. Don't forget to go to our Facebook page and like our page, share it with your racing fans, and go visit Raceface University online. We'll see you next Wednesday.